Hello? What up, chat? Early one today, yes, because we have a lot of work to do. Taneda, what is up, my friend? Welcome in, good to see you. Valint, I know you're lurking because you are streaming. But still, great to see you. How is your day, Taneda? Alright, we gotta drop another lurk or two. It's actually not bad today. I'm kind of excited because it's under 100 outside. So, I mean, it'll probably warm up a little bit in here with the forge running, but I still have the cooler running and it's 84 Fahrenheit in the garage right now. So it's not unbearable. Oh yeah, it's I live on the surface of the sun. Under 100 is yeah, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna be a hot one this year. We really didn't have much winter at all. I think it was La Nina this year. All I know is that this winter wasn't a winter. I don't think it ever got below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. But our summers, so starting probably within the next 3 weeks, we'll start getting up between 42 to 48 Celsius. Which is between like just shy, so that'd be like 108 to 118, somewhere around there. Yeah, 90. So if you're not used to it, it definitely sucks. And I think it's a lot, personally, I feel like it's a lot easier to acclimate to cold than it is to acclimate to hot. WTK, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. How are you today? Alright, we've got the billet in the forge because I was letting this preheat before I fired up the stream, and then for the whole pre-roll. I do need to switch power from the mill back to the press. We need to move the camera, and we're going to try to make record time as far as the stream is concerned. When I'm not streaming, if I really buckle down and I'm not tied to a schedule, I mean, I can make pretty quick progress. Come on, threads, catch. There we go. Perfect. Doing awesome. It is a mild day here in the desert. It's not too bad. Alright, I think we can start squishing right now. We're going to move this because we don't need a kiss block just yet. forge down a bit. So as a recap, if you missed it yesterday, we made some pretty good time yesterday, and I wanted to get this part we're doing right now finished, but it was getting late and the little one was getting tired. I had to go get her to bed, so we didn't get to finish it, but we got the whole thing drilled. The raindrop. This yesterday was a single welded up billet of 21 layers. We cleaned it, cut, stacked it up to 84, drew that all out, got it all forge welded, cut, cleaned, and stacked again, and re-welded it and drew it out to 336 layers and drilled it for the raindrop pattern all last night. And we just had to cut short of forging it back flat. So we're forging it flat and we'll turn it into a knife today. The goal is I would like to get this all forged flat and turned into a knife, and I may do more stock removal than normal on this one. For two reasons. One, for the sake of time, but also less distortion in the pattern for the final product. We'll see how I'm feeling about it. But the idea is that I want to get this thing completely heat treated and tempered and get all the finish grinding done and basically get it into an etch today. So this may turn into an unplanned, unprompted 12-hour stream. We'll see. We'll see how quickly we can go through this. I mean, I could, if I was really rushing for time, I could get this forged down into a thickness that I could forge a knife out of it, or if I was doing entirely stock removal at that point, I could do it really quick. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to distort the pattern by using the drawing dies and being really aggressive with the squishing. So I'm using the flat side of the die. Be a little more gentle on the squishing. It just takes a little bit longer to do it that way. The stupid audio mixer keeps breaking so that I cannot see what my levels are at. Oh well. So I guess we're gonna do this stream with having no idea where our sound levels are. I wouldn't normally forge in a polyester shirt like this either, but it was the only blue shirt that I had available, and I found that wearing blue actually does help keep mosquitoes away. I left that billet pretty thick. I'm almost tempted to re-drill it again. Should be alright though. bright outside. I envy you folks that live in areas that are frequently overcast. Cloudy. Rainy. I like it. I like the rain. This is still about half an inch thick right now. But we don't want to drill it. So the reason I left it a little bit thicker, because if you drill into it on both sides fairly deep at like half an inch, it doesn't leave you a whole lot of room to get it forged back flat. And then still have enough material to make a knife out of. You'd be forging it really thin at that point. It'd be fine for a chef knife, but not for the type of knife we're doing. And if we can get this thing get it heat treated, so get it forged out, get it heat treated and into the oven for tempering, then I can use the rest of that time while it's tempering to go back to the 2 chef knives that I had started. Because I've got these 2 chef knives that I need to redo the heat treat on. I'm just not confident in getting this warp out through another temper cycle. I feel like it would end up making the cutting edge too soft. Well, I heat it up in the forge. I do it by eye. You know, I kind of eyeball the critical temperature. I've got a pretty decent feel for it. The oil that I use is Parks 50. Parks 50 is the fastest quench oil that you can get. That I'm aware of. There might be something quicker, but Parks 50 is the standard for a fast quench oil. And I just do the tempering in the oven for now, because I haven't built a heat treating oven yet, and I'm probably not going to build one. I'm probably just going to buy one. Building the oven is easy. It's the controller that I'm really not sure about. Because the heating elements are cheap and easy, soft fire brick is easy, and really all you're doing is making a frame that you line with soft fire brick, and you cut a channel in it, and then you stretch out your heating coil elements in there all through it. But wiring up a controller and a PID and all that stuff, wiring I'm fine with, but programming it, that's where I'm like, I'd rather just spend the money to buy one instead of spending a month fucking around trying to make one. Yeah, the oil is only used for quenching. That's all it is. It's a quenching oil. It was engineered specifically for quenching. Like, that's the whole point of those oils, is for hardening steels. There's quite a few companies too. I don't know all of the oils that are out there. I know there's Citgo makes some, and then McMaster Car. I don't recall who makes it for McMaster Car, but they sell. It's branded as Quench-All, like the word quench with the letters OL added to it, so it's Quench-All. And then you have Parks. And Parks makes more than one oil. There's Parks 50, which is what I use. That's the fastest one. And then their medium speed quench oil is Parks AAA. And I don't recall if there's a third flavor of Parks. And I don't recall who makes Parks, because I think that's the branding, but not the company. That is true. It can be, but it should not be. One, it doesn't work very well as a quenchant. Two, it's very toxic. Three, not all motor oils are created equal. You know, various ones have different additives, and there's different weights and different thermal tolerances. It's very unpredictable. You'll hear old school blacksmiths that don't know any better, or should know better, but don't have any fucks left to give, that just can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of thing, that will swear by motor oil. No, absolutely not. You'll hear people say, oh, well, transmission fluid or diff fluid from, differentials, so gear oil, basically. Like, no, none of those things work well for quenching. Alright, I'm going to try brushing this real quick here. Honestly, if you're going with household items or cheap things, like an engineered quenching oil is really the best thing you could possibly do, but that's not viable for a lot of people right off the bat, including myself. When I first started out, I didn't want to spend a ton of money buying a 5-gallon bucket of Parks 50. I ended up finding a supplier that does it by the gallon, and it's actually reasonably priced. But before that, I used canola oil because it is not toxic. It has predictable results. Yes, it goes bad and it degrades and breaks down, but with something like 1084, dealing with something the thickness of a knife, you can get very passable, very decent and acceptable results with canola oil. Will it be peak performance for that steel? Absolutely not. Will it make a knife that will still be a quality knife? Yes. If done properly, canola oil can heat treat. I've used it. That's what's in the smaller container right here. Right now. Is it? No, did I switch that? I might have switched that with AAA. I don't remember. I haven't used this in like a year. I do have canola oil hiding back here somewhere. I've got a few gallons of it that I never used. Yeah, the way it's engineered, like motor oil, for example, has a bunch of additives to it, and if it's used motor oil, it's got a bunch of contaminants, right? You've got heavy metals and other contamination in it. You know, and then you've got additives like surfactants and, you know, who knows what else. I don't know all the other stuff that they put into oils for motor oils, but... Alright, I need some water that we can put on the anvil to blast this forge scale off. So we're going to catch some of the water that's dripping out of the fan. Do a pass on the press first. And we need more water. Throw some more water on the anvil. There we go. Knocked most of that forge scale off. more scale's just going to form, but I'm going to limit how much is getting squished in with the billet. Not that long. You know, because I did a lot of reading too. You got to remember when I did a little bit of smithing right off the bat, and then it basically took like 6 months or more off because of my health right after I started. And I spent that time reading and watching videos and learning and doing all kinds of research. And then I did it again, you know, started smithing again for a month or two, and then put it down again for another 6 to 9 months or so. And same thing. So, you know, I was armed with quite a bit of knowledge, you know, and the theory craft behind it. So the trial and error part when I started back up again was very quick. That depends. Like with stuff like this, when it's something that interests me, my ADD takes over and I tend to hyperfixate on it and just like zero in and laser focus and absorb all the knowledge that I can. Now, whether or not I could recite that knowledge back is a whole different story, but I absorb what I can. Okay, it is right about good for another pass in the press. Or not. Missed what happened there. The little handle that I had welded on there for grabbing with the tongs finally broke off. The weld finally broke after repeated heating and squishing and repeated cycles. Going in and out of the forge. The weld finally failed. So our billet fell off the little handle. That's alright though. It's at a dimension that's easy to just use the tongs. What's up, Steady? Yeah, space is a problem. I mean, at least with the stuff that I have now, I can potentially, you know, if I'm responsible about it, I can fund more tooling pretty easily. You know, a handful of knife orders would easily pay for power hammer. Well, one of the smaller, cheaper power hammers. If I wanted a really big one, that's going to be quite a few orders. But, you know, handful of orders definitely more than covers a really big, really nice heat treating oven. Would cover another grinder if I wanted to get a second grinder, which I do. Would cover upgrades to the mill. I would love to have a power hammer. It depends on what you get. If you're buying a brand new power hammer or a really large one, they could be 10,000 or more. 10, 20, even more. If you're getting a little giant, especially one of like the 25 pounders, those things could be like $2,500. You could build a tire hammer decently cheap. But a brand new Anyang air hammer, so a completely self-contained Anyang, is going to be around. So they just changed the numbers. It used to be the Anyang 88 was the smaller one, and that was like just under 10 grand. And then the 100 and something or other pound Anyang was like 10 or 11, something like that. But they just changed the numbers. I don't know if the price has changed. What's up, Jack? Welcome, buddy. No thanks needed. Although what is needed is this fan. Turn this fan on. Get some more air flow. You missed it. I dropped hot metal. I don't know if it actually showed up very well in the camera right here on the stream, but the little handle that I had welded onto the billet for grabbing on with the tongs, the weld finally failed after being on there for the entire time of welding and drawing that billet down. Finally failed, and the billet fell off right after I pulled it out of the forge. I think sometime in the next week or two, I'm going to take a trip down to local tool steel place and see if I can't get some A2 for some dies so I can make some other dies for the press. Because I want to get some larger flattening dies, like some really wide ones. Or not get, but I want to make. Like, I basically want to make a die where the flattening plate is probably a little wider than this, so maybe... There's my ruler, right there. Yeah, about 5, so probably about as wide as the RAM guide on here, so 5 inches. So I want to get like a block that's like a 5 inch long block by 3 inch wide. So a 5 by 3 block, 2 of them of A2. One for the top, one for the bottom. And then basically do the same thing as these, but have combo dies where I've got a really long flattening die so I can flatten up the billets better, and then have the drawing dies. And that'd also be really, really handy so that I could flip one of these around. So I'd have a flat, you know, the long flat piece on the bottom and then the drawing die on top, and you could use that for setting in tangs with the press and squishing tangs without squishing from both sides. Because if you squish from both sides, it's going to squeeze equally from both sides, and it'll put a tang where you might not want it. You know, if I want a tang that's offset from the center of the billet, I'd have to do this and then adjust it all with the hammer, and or do it all by hand. And yeah. Point is, I have plans. I have ideas. We're getting there. Like I said, this part is slow and steady because I want to try to minimize the distortion in the pattern. Ideas. They do happen once in a while. Sometimes they're dangerous, but I do, once in a great while, I get them. But I also need to make squaring dies. Alright, we want to take this down to about a quarter inch for now. We're almost there. Now here's my dilemma. Some of you heard this already, but my current thought or dilemma is, do I want to rough forge most of this out? Or do I want to do more stock removal and retain more of the pattern? I'll probably forge it, but the idea of doing stock removal is still there in my head. Do I have a favorite steel? The 10 series steels I love. Like all the high carbon, the simple high carbon alloys. So 1084, 1095, 1075, 1080. You know, so your 10X steels and your 15N20 and similars. ADCRV2 is similar. It's just got vanadium and a little bit of chromium added. I really like 1095. I like that quite a bit. I did like W2. I used that. Only used it and made 2 knives out of it, but I did like W2. Stock removal is loads of grinding, yes. I mean, yeah, I'm still doing stock removal either way. It's just a question of how much stock removal. And a lot of times with Damascus, you know, it partially depends on the pattern, but a lot of times there's more stock removal than with a single steel knife. Again, it depends on the pattern. Like on these K-bar style fighting knives, for example. So these ones, I'll forge the shape of the knife, but I won't forge in the bevels or the fullers. I grind those in because it digs into where the layers are and opens up and makes the pattern, in my opinion, makes the pattern look a lot better than if I were to just forge it as is. Deborah, welcome in today. It is going well. We're doing the things and making the progress. Steph just pulled back up with the refill on water. So I'm gonna go give her a hand bringing those inside right after this goes back in the forge. And that works out because I gotta take a leak anyway. Alright, so that goes back in the fire. Chat, I will be right back. Give me just a minute. Alright, sorry about that. Tolkien, Apocalypse, welcome in. Good to see you. How are you this wonderful day? Oh, Jack, I never left it, my friend. I told you, I've been lurking in the bushes. Alright, so we're at 1/4 inch right now. Which is really thick. It's quite chonk. Very chonk. So, here's what we are going to do. We are first going to cut the end off of that billet, because we never did that initially. I think it would be neat made in steel. It would be super neat. You could, with a limited color palette, do a forced patina on it. But I think copper would be easier. Much easier. You could do either one, though. What's up, Raiders? Give me a minute. Loud noises. Alright, so we cut off the part we needed to cut off. Give me 1 second, Raiders. Welcome in. And I decided, I'm going to make my life a little bit easier. So we just cut the end off. A little bit of an angle on both sides. Freddy, what is up? Vanderly, welcome in. How are you? How did the rest of your stream go? Speaking of which, I have to go close that tab, because I've been lurking. What is up, friends? Welcome, Raiders. Freddy, good to see you. Sassy, welcome. Oh, not much. I am, so, doing something I haven't done before, in the sense that I am going to see if we can't do start to finish this billet that we drew out, get it not only forged into a knife today, but all the heat treating done and the finish grinding and the etching. Because I had a setback. I completely finished this knife, did a handle for it and everything for our friend Belint from Cyant Streams. So we completely forged this thing out, did all the handle work, did all the etching, etched it, and find out there's no pattern. He wanted a raindrop Damascus. I messed up and somehow put the wrong pile of steel in the wrong bucket, because I keep all my types of steels separate and labeled. So when I put this billet together, it was all one type of steel. So there is no pattern. It's invisible Damascus. So I had to start over. This is still a perfectly good knife. I'll still sell it, just it's not going to Belint. So we're going to try to do all of this in one day. One day. Barely built anything. That's usually the way it goes. It's usually the way it goes. Hut Armories, good to see you. Welcome in.
Stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
Depends entirely on the order. I mostly use simple high carbon alloys. So your 10 series steels, 1084, 1095, 15N20. That's typically what's used for Damascus. I also do use 80 CRV2, which is similar to 1095. It just has a few extra alloying elements in different quantities. I've used W2. I do have 52-100. I have 5160. Not all of those go into Damascus, but it really just depends on what the order is. 99% of what happens out here is commission work. So, friends, if you don't know me, if your first time being here, welcome. I am Lone Mountain. I am Twitch's most okayest bladesmith. I am a maker and purveyor of stabby and slicing things, such as these. Typically, it's Damascus, because that's what the commissions are for. Occasionally I do other stuff, but usually we're out here hitting hot metal. Yes, the most favoritist bladesmith. Now, I need to do some things. So first off, friends, if you are not following Vanderlee, you should do it. She was at least attempting to build some Gundam today. At least attempting. There was an attempt. Speaking of which, let me go back. Hang on. I gotta close the tab. I'd be lurking on myself. There we go.
Now stand back. Okay. I gotta practice my stabbing.
Also, our boy Freddy. We love Freddy, the Nuno House. Fred was the second ever Lego streamer I found in the brick building community. I found him because of the first one that I found, More and More. And through More and More and Freddy, I found everybody else, like Amish Ace right here, who just had a knife shipped out to him. What's up, Ace? How goes? Ace's knife should get there next week. Pretty stoked. Ace, don't cut your fingers off. It is sharp. AF. Night Owl, good to see you. Welcome in. How is your day going, my friend? We Burn Daylight, Hut Armories, thank you for those follows. Ground rules here. There really aren't none. Except for, I strongly encourage shameless self-promotion. If you stream, you make awesome content, because we have so many friends from so many awesome communities in art and makers and crafting and gamers that pop in and hang out. I want you guys to self-promote. There's a good chance that your fellow chatters here also do some pretty awesome stuff. Follows are free. We all grow together, and we all support each other and help each other grow. So my shout-out command is open. I strongly encourage you to please use it. Shout yourself out, shout out your friends. It's all good. Also, if you do any kind of work, like building Lego, building Gundam, building stuff, wood out of wood, leather, metal, whatever, you do art, you paint, you draw, share that too. Even if you don't stream it, right? Some people don't stream, but maybe they post their work on Instagram or Facebook or, some other social or a website. Share the links. We'll take a look at it on stream. I really like to share and look at other people's stuff. I want to see it. I'm sure other friends in chat want to see it. Thank you, Hud. I appreciate that. So right now we have some steel in the forge. We're thinning it down. It's this time it is Raindrop Damascus. I'm positive of that. Yesterday it was a billet of 21 layers, and last night we forged it down, cut it, cleaned it, stacked it, and re-welded it. Did that process 2 times, so it went from 21 layers up to 336 layers. And then we also were able to drill all the holes for the raindrop last night. Ran out of time, so we couldn't get it all forged back down. But we got it all forged down today. It's still a little bit thick. It's about a 1/4 inch thick right now, so I'm going to thin it down some more, and we'll start getting a knife profile in there. Because like I said, I want to see if we can't get this thing completely heat treated and finished tonight. Leatherworker and armor smith. Nice. If you have any work to share, Hut, drop a link. We'll take a look at it. Am I following Hut already? I might be. Am I? I am. Okay, I'm already following Hut. Have I seen... Maybe I have seen you online. I don't know. But yeah, share your work. There we go. Alright. We're going to pull that up. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Let me... It's been sitting in there for a bit. So let me run this through the press real quick, and then we'll take a look. Yeah, exactly. You couldn't see it, Night Owl. It's an invisible Damascus. Patent pending. Shoot. I forgot that I unplugged the press so that I could use the angle grinder. There we go. Okay. Why is the, Okay, hang on a sec. It doesn't like that browser. So we're going to switch over to this browser. There we go. Bora wants to know what a good forgiving steel is for a beginner in terms of heat treating. Jack is spot on. 1084 is very forgiving, very easy. You know, if you mess up, you can still get fairly passable results. Yeah, 15 and 20 is also pretty easy, but I mean, 1084 is like phenomenal. Because it will get acceptably hard. even if you're off a little bit on your temperatures, or you don't maybe have the best quenching oil, like if you're using canola oil, right? As long as it's the a thinner profile, like a knife, you can get very good hardness out of it. If you're doing stock removal, it depends on what kind of knife. Right, so if you're going to just buy a bar and then cut and grind to shape entirely, if it's something in the kitchen like a chef knife, 1/8 inch thick is fine. If it needs to be a little bit more robust for something outdoors, anywhere between 5/32 to 3/16. I wouldn't go above 3/16. I mean, 3/16 is already pretty chunky. So, somewhere between 1/8 and 3/16. Okay. Yeah, for a chef knife, 1/8. I mean, you can go a little bit thicker than that, but you don't want it to be too thick, right? Because it's a kitchen knife. It's a chef knife. Or some variation thereof. Alright, so let's check this out. Oh, I did see this. I was watching this. That's right. I remember... Oh, I'm not logged in on the computer. That's right. Okay. I remember this crown. I was watching this. That's... Okay, I did see that. It's phenomenal. This gives me the leaf crown. Were they leaves or feathers? It gives me ancient Roman vibes. Look at this armor. Look at this, chat. Wow. It's absolutely phenomenal. Look at the tooling on this. Whoa. Screw you, Instagram. I don't want to log in. Absolutely gorgeous work. Chat, if you're not following Hut Armories, do it. Oh no, it froze? Alright, hang on. Unbork. No, I'm the borked one. I'm a dummy. I closed the other browser and then it pulled up in the other browser again. So I've been scrolling through the other browser. I remember watching this crown. I was lurking. I don't remember if I was chatting or not, but I remember you making this. No, chat already told me. I was in the wrong browser. Okay. I already realized that I'm a idiot. I'm a dummy. I done goofed. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Love you. Look at this armor. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I was admiring the tooling. I absolutely love this work. It's gorgeous, especially this tooling. And this tooling. And this tooling. Swords for armor when? Nerduino, what is up, my friend? Welcome in. Give another shout out here. Okay, yeah, so it's meant to be a laurel wreath. I gotcha. That's what I thought. I just wasn't sure if I was misremembering and you said feathers, or if I was conflating it with something else because I have feather Damascus on the brain. So I didn't want to say leaves and then when it was supposed to be feathers, or vice versa. Absolutely phenomenal work. Nerduino, everybody. Heckin' worked at NASA. Engineer. Science extraordinaire. Does science news, astronomy. Builds some Lego. Brick building friends. Our friend Nerduino here builds Lego from time to time. Just like our friend Astro Canuck. And is a pretty awesome individual. Arduino was live streaming the eclipse the other day, and it was cloudy here, so I couldn't see it outside. So I hung out with Nerduino all night watching the eclipse. Just knocking some of this forge scale off real quick here. Oh. Now, what I was saying before the raid came in, because I, as per usual, forgot what I was going to say, because I get easily distracted. Most fun you've had in a while? Nice. I'm glad it was an awesome stream. I appreciate you for sharing it. Because it was too overcast here. The moon was behind clouds, so I couldn't see it anyway. So it was nice. I mean, we're close enough to geographically that, you know, we're not going to have this. You and I aren't going to have the same weather, but we're close enough geographically that it's, you know, near the same time. You know, you might get darker. Not might. You do get darker a little later than I do, but this time of year, it's the same time, so, you know, if you can see an eclipse, I'll see an eclipse, weather permitted, right? The same phenomenon that you see, generally
now
speaking,
stand back, I gotta
see.
practice my stabbing.
Thank you for that follow. Last Chance Machines, welcome in. Thank you for that follow. So, when I cut the, what I was saying, so I cut the end off of that billet there. And the reason why I never did it initially, when you weld up Damascus, typically, you know, modern day Damascus, pattern welded steel, you're just using a welder like a MIG or a TIG machine to quickly weld the corners on the billet. In my case, I use MIG, and the filler metal with a MIG weld, which is an electrical welding process, that filler material is mild steel, which is not hardenable. You do not want to use it. You don't want it incorporated into your blade. Not only that, but the very ends of the billet when you weld it out from that squishing process. This is a pretty exaggerated example, but you'll get stuff like this where there's sections or little bits where the welds at the very ends of the billet could potentially have issues. So you typically cut the end of the billet off, so that you're left with nothing but good steel when you do your workpiece. I just hadn't done it yet on that billet, but when I cut it off right when everybody joined, I decided to save myself a little bit of trouble, and I cut it at an angle kind of like this. So the reason for that, the metal wants to go somewhere when you smash it with a hammer, right? So when I go to forge in the tip of the knife, if I'm forging these corners down, the material will get thinner in this direction, but it'll also draw out in this direction, and it'll do what's called fish lipping, where you'll basically get like a crescent shape, and you'll have to knock and hit those corners back. If it's already at a point like this, and I go smash those corners down, it's just going to draw that point out more. So it reduces the chance of that happening, and it's easy to fix. Normally I don't worry about cutting the billets at an angle like that, because I specifically forge back those corners first so I don't get fish lipping, but we're trying to rush through this today. So any corners that we can cut to save time without affecting the quality of the piece, we're going to do it. We burn daylight. Welcome. I do not. Not in this case. 15 and so in this particular billet, it is 1084 and 15N20. Both of those steels are hardenable high carbon steels. Very similar compositions. The 15N20 has an addition of 2% nickel, and that nickel allows it to resist oxidizing more than the 1084. So when you dip it in an acid, the 1084 will oxidize much quicker, and that's where you get the dark colors from. And the 15N20 resists that oxidation, and it'll stay brighter. So that's where you get, I'll do it in this camera. So this knife is actually 1095, but it's the same exact principle, same concept. It's just a different steel. So all the dark steel in here is 1095. All the brighter steel is 15N20. But they're both hardenable, and their heat treating requirements are so close to the same that it's effectively just as hard through the whole bit here. So I don't worry about what's on the edge. If I were using some kind of steel that were not hardenable, then yes, I would have a concern about where it wound up on the edge. And in those cases, I would do something like a San Mai, where the core would be a hardenable steel, and then the non-hardenable steel would be a jacket over top of it that's forge welded together, so that when it's shaped into a knife and ground to be complete, the hardenable steel is exposed at the edge. JP, what is up, my friend? Welcome in. Would you heat treat real armor, though? I don't think you would. I don't think steel armor was typically heat treated, was it? Maybe it was. I don't know. I've never done armor smithing. JP Sunset is a new friend we just met this week or last week. Does some amazing woodworking. Streaming it here on Twitch. We are working on, and here you can see the angle that I was talking about when I cut it. Now, I didn't cut this end off of the billet either, but what I am going to do is forge this down into a tang right here that's easier to hold on to with the tongs, so that I can do some hand hammering once we have that tang forged in. Yep, 100% daylight there is. You know, you control the pattern based on how you manipulate the steel and what you do to it. To an extent, you know, there's a certain bit of inherent randomness to it, depending on how aggressively you forge it down and whether or not you're using a press, a power hammer, or just a hammer in your hand. Where did I put... And also your starting materials and what you do with the starting materials. All of that affects what you're doing with the pattern. This particular one is a raindrop Damascus. What that essentially means, so we forged out the billet to a layer count that we wanted and then drilled a bunch of holes in it, but not all the way through. The holes only went part way in, and you just drill them right next to each other, side by side in a row, filling up the whole surface of the billet. And what that does is, that because drill bits are tapered, right, it exposes all the other layers before it, so that when you forge it back flat again, it kind of opens up, and you have all these concentric circles, and it looks somewhat like the ripples in a pond when rain is hitting a pond, right? And that's why it's called raindrop. But then there's some like this that I'm not sure how well this is going to show up. This is, if you can see the pattern, because I can't see the screen from here, this would be like feather Damascus, right? So I had all my layers forged out, and then I literally split the billet with a really dull cutting tool, not a rotary tool, but like an axe and a hammer, and just hammered the dull cutting tool all the way through the billet, and then cleaned it up and welded it back together again, so it dragged all these layers down and makes this feather pattern. And then I've got a billet around here somewhere of ladder Damascus that I have to ship out. I was going to show that as an example to say that yes, you can control the patterns quite a bit. But I don't know where I put it. I might have brought it inside because I have to ship it out. It's going to a fellow blacksmith. So I might have actually put that one inside. Plate armor was heat treated. Okay, fair enough. Saki, what is that, my friend? Okay. Sweet. We have a tang forged in that we can use to hold on to the billet, and that was forged out of the part that we need to cut off anyway, so I really don't care. But it's there, and we're not going to use all this material for this knife anyway. And this is still pretty thick, but I want to start getting it refined down into a profile, at least. We're going to move the camera real quick here. It is a beautiful Saturday indeed. It is actually under 100 today. I'm pretty stoked about that. Saki, everybody, does phenomenal stuff with resin and burl and wood. And I just so happen to be in need of a new supplier for stabilized and hybrid blocks to use for handles. And that supplier is going to be our friend right up here, Saki. Alright, let me move the camera from the press back over to the anvil. where did I put my dog's head hammer? There it is. Yeah, I got, oh, and I left all the wood inside. I've got a lot of stabilized blocks right now, but I need more hybrids. The only hybrids that I've got are scales, and I don't use scales that often with wood. And I found this company online, Vivid, and I ordered one block from them, and that's what I used on that one chef knife I showed you that had that blue and maple burl. So the blue resin and maple burl. And it's nice. I mean, it's good quality. It's just expensive. And plus, I don't have any attachment to, I don't have anything bad or good to say. The product from Vivid was great, but I would much rather my business go to somebody that I can interact with. I'd rather support small businesses. Not that this isn't a small business, but basically what I'm saying is I'd rather Saki takes my money than somebody that I don't know. Yeah, I really dig the hybrids, for sure. I'm going to have to turn this forge down. It's getting a little too hot. We do not need to be at forge welding temperatures anymore. Now for the fun stuff. Probably like 2 to 2.5. In fact, let me tell you, hang on. I mean, I've done them as high as 3.5. But I think between 2 and 3. But it's like this one is probably about where I'd aim. And this one is at, here, I'll put it on the big camera. This one's at 2 3/4 right now. So I usually do anywhere from a 50% to 75% tang. So I don't, on a chef knife, I don't do a through tang. So I still do hidden tang, but I do 1/2 to 3/4. Probably, but honestly, Saki, that all depends on the block itself, right? Like I just make that decision based on the block and the piece, you know, and what I'm feeling with it. So I kind of let the aesthetics guide me, you know. So I'll look at it multiple ways and make a determination based on that specific piece. Chris, what is up, my friend? Yes, we're trying to get it all done in a day. MakerDeck, everybody, if you're not familiar, is a fantastic project that our friend Chris Perillo is part of and working on to help grow. It is an awesome community that is a 24/7 feed and a 24/7 community of various makers. You'll see primarily a lot of 3D printers, but it's not restricted to just 3D printing, and it's a very active community in the chat. But it's not like this kind of stream where we're talking and chatting and whatnot. You know, the chat's very active and everybody's talking in the chat, but it's strictly the stream is a feed of multiple makers, and it's focused on just the work. And it's, you know, so 3D printers, you've got some of the Lego and the Gundam folks that are feeding into there. Yours truly will be on there at some point. Probably once I get through these orders, I can revisit how I would set that up. But if you're not following MakerDeck, click that link, drop a follow. As our friend Zach would say, tickle that name. It's an awesome channel. I hang out there pretty much all day, every day. Don't always talk that much, but I'm there, reading, watching, looking. And I just found out today, Chris, that, and I had no idea it was this cheap. For some reason, I was thinking, you know, 3D printers that would do what I wanted them to do would be pretty expensive, but the Ender 3 version 2 is like $259. So I might, just might, have to be picking up a printer way sooner than I thought, because I have some ideas and plans for how I could incorporate a printer into what's happening right here. That's right, 3D printing and blacksmithing together, you ask? And I say that is correct.
Look at him, he's heading for that small moon.
I think I can get him before he gets there. He's almost in
Ow.
range.
Forge scale.
That's no moon.
That is bread.
Chevy guy.
Very bad feeling about this.
Chevy guy 22, everybody. Being incredibly observant and letting us know that that is indeed bread.
Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the red doors.
Raiders, welcome. Oh, and that was actually Chevy that played it this time. Hooray, Chevy. Asus, welcome in, my friend. Raiders, welcome. How are ya? So the only few things that I will print with it, Chris, the only thing that I'm really looking for are a decent resolution so that there's not like print lines in it. All I'm going to be printing are things that I could use for casting. So basically guard designs and pommel designs that I can print out and use for lost material casting. Asus, how goes it, my friend? How was your stream? Were you working on the guitar? Asus, everybody, if you're not following, not only does Asus make beautiful guitars, Asus is giving away a guitar. If you're not following, why? Why not? Click the link, do the thing. Chat, you know what to do. Yeah, so Chris, I mean, since I'm only really printing, like I only need it for like and there's one other use case, but it's top secret. I don't want to share it yet. But again, that's very simple. I'd basically be making, what I will share is that I'll essentially be making cookie cutters. So basically just printing walls in a certain design. So I don't have really robust needs out of a printer. Ooh, you were working on 3 guitars. Nice. I've been lurking.
Now for Wrath, now for Ruin, and the Red Dawn!
Ermagerd. Ashby, welcome in.
Now for Wrath, now for Ruin, and the Red
Old Drum.
Dawn!
Old Drum, welcome in. Wow, we were just getting slammed with raids today. The Lady Rhinus, how are you? Daisy Cake, welcome. How is everybody doing? Ashby, Old Drum, how were your streams? What did you have going on? Tell us all about it. Also, if you have any work to share, any pictures or anything, feel free to drop a link to your work, and we'll take a look at it right here on the stream. Making some wallets, nice. Ooh, Lego World Map tomorrow. Nice. I haven't built that, but I've watched people build it, and it looks awesome. Fortnite and Rocket League. Awesome. How did the games go? I've never played either one of those. Yeah, it's basically nothing but dots. Just dots after dots after dots. We're working on a knife and trying to, speaking of, I should actually get back to work and quit messing around. We're not taking our time. We're trying to get through this fairly quick. Alright, so now we're going to hammer in the offset for what will become the gut hook. Knitting in the background, awesome. Like I said, links are open. If you have any work that you've recently finished that you want to share, feel free to drop a link and we will take a look at it. Nope, just some hammer and Asus. Just be hammering some things. I'm going to try to blast through this. I'm going to do a really rough forge on this, and then we'll just stock removal the rest. I am tempted to do a hollow grind on this knife, too. We'll see how I'm feeling once we get it down to its final shape. switch to the dog's head for the rest of that. So what we're doing, for anybody that has no idea what's going on, we are redoing this knife. Because I went through the I went through the process of making this. And this is an order for a friend of the stream, Science. And we made this awesome Skinner, Raindrop Damascus, only to find out that the bins that store my steel somehow had a mix-up. Somehow, me being the mix-up. Somehow I put steel in the wrong bin. So when I took out all the steel to make this wonderful Damascus, it was all the same type of steel. So this is not actually Damascus. This is 400 layers of all the same type of steel. So I guess it's invisible Damascus, patent pending. But we're redoing this knife. So right now, we're forging in an offset. And we might change the dimensions on it just a little bit to maybe bring the gut hook a little further back. But the billet that's in there now is actual Raindrop Damascus. So, we'll get this all finished up, and we're going to try to get it from where it's at right now in the forge to this today by the end of the stream. And that's a tall order because of how long the heat treating process takes, specifically tempering. Oh yeah, I was not happy about that. Not at all. No worries, Chris. Thank you for popping in, my friend. Good to see you. I know I will see you around. Appreciates the lurk. Yes, Invisible Damascus. Two more coats in on the giveaway. Stratatelli. The arm bevel cut on the new project. Nice. I've been basically thinking about Kaler bridges since last night. Alright. I think we're good. The hammer again. There we go. Gives us quite a bit to work with there, but I'm kind of tempted to cut and split that, but I should probably just leave well enough alone. Just do it the same way I did before. Oh, Aces, you stop tempting me with your Guitar Maker's wiles. Unless, so Asus, I have a proposition for you here. I found an infinite money glitch. And Chevy Guy didn't want to exploit this glitch. But I found a real life infinite money glitch. And it might just be something that you're interested in. Are you ready for this? Because it's going to blow your mind. Well, no, I knew it. I knew there was something wrong the first time I etched it, but I cleaned it, thoroughly cleaned it, and etched it again for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to check the spine, and two, I wanted to make sure, because I didn't leave it in the etch very long. And I just had to refresh the acid because I accidentally got some water with baking soda in it mixed in there, so it definitely would have neutralized some of the acid. So I wanted to make sure that, one, the surface of the blade was very clean, because I had just wiped it down, but I didn't thoroughly like degrease it, right? So I wanted to make sure it was perfectly clean, that I refreshed the acid, and then left it in the etch longer. So yes, I did etch it twice. No. No, here's the infinite money glitch. Are you ready? You, Asus, will buy all of my knives. I will do nothing but make knives full time, and you will buy all of my knives. In turn, you will make nothing but guitars full time, and I will buy all of your guitars. And now we both have infinite money. Right? I'm telling you, Nerduino, it's an infinite money glitch. One simple trick the banks don't want you to know. Oh, where you put them, I don't know. Yeah, right. How do you make a small fortune in winemaking? You start with a big one. Oh, Nerduino, you have a question. Was that the question? Or is there a different, like an actual question? going to update the title, because I think this is going to end up turning into a 12-hour stream. J10, welcome in. Good to see you. Nope, nope, nope. There's no flaws in this plan. No flaws in this plan at all. See, everybody thinks at first glance. They actually think about it, and they look at this plan and they think, but wait, you're actually losing money because you're just passing the same money back and forth but buying more material to make more goods. And you'd be forgiven for thinking that. I don't have anything else to add to that. There's no other logic or wisdom beyond that. Alright, I think we're up to a good heat now. Ow, forge scale. Look, chat, we're forging a wiener. A spicy wiener. Alright, where's my Sharpie? There's my Sharpie. Now... Thanks for the lurk, Nerduino. Forbidden popsicle, yes. I mean, if you want to put it in your mouth steady, that's on you. Do another shout out for our friend Nerduino here. J10 helping out with all the shout outs. B Bumstead helping out with the shout outs. Yes. I am glad to see it. Shout out all of the friends. Alright, where the heck did I put that Skinner that I just had that I was showing chat? Just had it. Set it down somewhere. Where the F did I set that down? Not put it back here with the two K bars. It's not over by the phone. Okay, WTF. I seriously just had this stupid thing. When we were sitting here, we were talking about it, and I was showing it, and I got up to do something. I set it down right here. Yeah. did say that I did want to change the profile just a bit. But that is pretty good right there. And we will need to add a tang right about here. Okay, got that marked. We will switch back to the diagonal peen. Should probably thin this down just a hair before we do much else, though. Yeah, I set it down and my brain broke. I do that. You know what I need? I need a counter command to count every time I set something down and then can't find it. I need a lost command. And then every time I lose something, just do exclamation lost. And count how many times I lose shit. Yeah, probably. I think I spend like a quarter of my streaming time just trying to find where I set something down not even 2 minutes before. That's just my life.
Now stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
Mr. Blackstone, thank you for that follow. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great day. Whew. Ow. That was a hot piece of forge scale that stuck. Hi, little one. Did you have a good nap? Hi. Come here. I'm just flattening. It makes it quicker to flatten out some of the hammer marks. So just give it a quick squish. Especially when I'm using the diagonal peen to pretty aggressively forge in the tang. You gotta go back to the store, or you're just making something else? Well, if you don't want to go back to the store, don't go back to the store. Just make something else. Oh, okay. Yeah, the big yellow is a press. It's a 16-ton coal ironworks. It's my big yellow squishy machine. We were using it earlier to, so you came in right after we switched back over to the anvil. So that billet was, I don't know, like 5/8 inch thick when we started, with all the holes drilled in it, and then we forged it down to 1/4, and now it's at about 3/16. Yep, the one from last night, correct. You're so cutie patooties. You got 2 bows in your hair. You're so cute. Well, now you have 1 bow in your hair. Don't throw it. Don't throw it. Well, no more bows. Look. The other one, the bows go in your hair like this, not in your mouth. You put them in your hair like that. So pretty.
Like in my ear? Okay.
No, not in your ear. Let me see it. Can I see it? It's so pretty.
You don't pull that.
I know. Don't touch it. Don't pull it. It's so pretty. Her hair is very red. I mean, it's brown, but it's very red. I've got a lot of red in my hair. It looks pretty dark here. There's a lot of red in my beard. Let's see it. What? I have red in my hair. No, you're just blind. I have red in my hair, too. If I'm out in the sun more, you see it a lot more. Look, I got pretty flowers in my beard. Yeah, it's so pretty. Lady Rhinus, that is Steph. I mean, we're not married, but might as well be. Life partner? E-Rhinus, that's Mork. Rhinus Leatherworks, Mork, that's his wife. She's on the stream too. They're the ones that made the Futurama light thing that we got in the giveaway. That's the Lady Rhinus. Yes, I know Asus, but I always say the Lady Rhinus. But yeah, basically, same thing. Okay, I have to swing a hammer. Go see Mama. Yep, Mama. Don't eat that. That's not food. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to switch the camera. Here, we'll switch the camera real quick. So I'll show you when I switch to the press Asus, I'll show you why. When I do it. So, I mean, it kind of curls over in tacos when it gets thin. This might be too bright to see in the camera, but it flares out right here quite a bit because we're really smashing that material down pretty quick. As opposed to hammering in all directions. So the press just kind of makes it a lot quicker to get that back flat as opposed to hand hammering. Enjoy your lurk. Blackstone streams. What does Blackstone do? Let's look. Racing, role-playing, artist, entertainer. That's a follow. Yep, I just, I mean, because I'm mostly working on the anvil, I'm just doing this for the sake of expediency and also being lazy so I don't feel like moving the camera. Bye, Steady. Have fun doing train stuff. Steady, are you going to change your name? Change your name to Steadfast Trainsmith. One of these days, Steady will be back in his shop, forging on stream. Someday. And if you're looking for somebody to blame for my presence here on Twitch, you can blame Steady. It's Steady's fault that I'm here. Also Chevy's fault. You haven't forged the train yet? Then what are you even doing at your job? Like, do you even work, bro? Fucking worst trainsmith ever. I don't even know why they hired you. Seriously, somebody should call the train foundry, the train smithy, and tell them they fucked up. No worries, Asus. Thank you for the lurk, my friend. Thank you for the raid as well. Say hi to Grammy. Alright, we're making good time. Been live for 2 hours, 20 minutes. Got a billet reduced from 5/8 down to like 3/16 or so, and forged into a rough knife shape. Almost done with the rough forging, and then we can let it cool down, clean it up on the grinder. So, pretty good time. It's only 3 p.m., just after 3 p.m. for me. So we got loads of time. Okay, now we just need to curve that tang a little bit and see if we want to adjust the profile at all. And let's see who's all on. Oh, we need to drop some more lurks. There's one. And we'll refresh Minion so that we count our friend Minion. Oh no, I'm lurking on myself. Okay, close that one. What? Yeah. Okay. We are good on the lurks. And then we'll do a little bit of hammering here, and then I'm going to go give Steph a hand real quick. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Cool. That'll work. I've got enough, it's not too big to grab with those other tanks. That'll work much better. Becca, what is up? How are you? How did your stream go? I've been, well, you're not streaming anymore. I was lurking. I was watching. Congrats on the 1 year, by the way. I actually did end up getting up early, so I was lurking all day. Alright, 1 second. I will be back. It went well. Awesome. Let me, Steph needs a hand. I'm just going to put the baby in the car, so they're going to run to the store. So give me 1 second. Be right back. Alright, sorry about that. 9 hours. Yeah, 9 hours is a lot. I'm glad it went well. Congrats again. Go. So much dust on my shoes. Makes my shoes slippery. Alright, once I just get this rough shape kind of tweaked a little bit, and this should be the last heat, we'll just make sure it's fairly flat and then let it cool off, and while it's cooling off we'll take a quick break. That way I can go refill water, because it is important to stay hydrated out here in the desert. And then we will, once the knife is cool, we can clean up the rough profile on the grinder and get it ready for heat treat, basically. No worries. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm glad everything went well. Get some rest. Get some food. Like you said, 9 hours is a long time. I'm really glad it went well, though. I popped in a few times. I was watching you do I think it was with gems, but there was 2 wolves. But I think it looked almost like a reflection in a pond. Like the design of it, but there was definitely a wolf there. It was super cool. And then you were building some stuff earlier. But yeah, go rest up. Take care of yourself. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Also, those flattening dies I was talking about earlier would be really handy right now. So, I think I'm going to do that next week or the week after, whenever I can get the time during the week, because they're only open Monday through Friday. But if I can find the time during the week to run down to the tool steel supplier, which is downtown, it's pretty far. It's not anywhere close to me. But if I can make the time to do it, I will do that. And maybe we will build those dies on stream. Oh, I didn't see this in Discord. Hang on. We got to share some art here, friends. I didn't notice it was a DM. And if you called me out on it in chat, I am sorry I missed it. But we'll give a shout out to Sassy. Sassy sent me some stuff in Discord. And it probably didn't pop up on the computer because of the stream, but I didn't notice it on my phone. And of course it doesn't want to open in the browser today. Oh, there it goes. Alright. So this is work that Sassy just shared. This is Sassy's work. Now, what I'm curious about is these are like amazing bags and they're woven. But is this all recycled material that it's woven from? If you're still here, Sassy, there's a floor mat. This is all paper, like magazine or book paper. I'm assuming magazine paper. And there's a lot of beads, like this is jewelry out of that paper. Just awesome. Like, I never would have thought you could turn magazines into jewelry. But then it has me wondering, like, are these... Is this all recycled material? Like, are these, like, plastic bags or recycled print material? Is that what that is? Because that's freaking awesome. Leave that up for a second. I'm just going to do a flattening pass in the press. But I'm not moving the camera, so there's nothing to see. But I'm really curious about that, if that's what indeed it is, if that's all recycled material. I mean, either way, it's awesome work. It's phenomenal. clamp this up in a vise to keep it straight while it cools. Shut the forge off because we don't need that for now. I'll ask Sassy. I sent Sassy a message in Discord. But yeah, this is phenomenal work. All right. So we got the knife clamped back there, cooling down, just keeping it nice and straight. As soon as it's cool, we will do a rough grind, get it ready for heat treating. What I am going to do is, while that's cooling down, I'm going to run inside and grab some water. We're going to take a quick break. So, stretch your legs, get some rest. Pop around to say hi to your favorite streamers. Get some food. Sorry, I was distracted by a pickaxe. Okay, so take a quick break just so I can refill the water while we wait for that to cool, and then we'll come back and do the grinding and get ready for heat treating. So, see y'all in a minute. And we're back. Nice and flat. Still hot. But we have a thing. So it just needs a couple more minutes to cool off. Once it's cool enough that I can dip it in water without the risk of cracking it, I can cool it down pretty quick. But it's not quite there yet. J10. Some trial and error, lots of reading and watching some YouTube vids and just being selective about what information I wanted to, what information I thought was valuable. So I'm usually pretty good at sifting through the bullshit on the internet for any kind of research that I'm doing. And then, of course, discussing with other blacksmiths, learning just basically folks that are more knowledgeable, absorbing whatever info I can from them. And to sum it all up in one word, the internet. As with a great many skills these days. You can learn them all on the interwebs. Oh, you're welcome. Damn it. I think I need a command for how many times I've dropped stuff too. Alright. So it's cool enough that I can dip it in water. It's cool enough that I can handle it. It's still a little warm at the tang, but that's alright. Okay. Now, miss. I'm thinking about making this blade a little bit bigger. But maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just cut off the extra, set that aside for scrap Damascus, and stick with the original profile. Did that sound? Why did that sound alert not work? Did anybody else hear that? Or was it just me that couldn't hear it? What's up, Flay? How are you? WTF? Why did that not work? That's dumb. Alright, hang on a sec.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
That one worked?
Hello there.
Okay. I guess it just decided it was broken. Well, hello there, Flay. How are you? Yeah, I guess Sound Alerts just decided it didn't want to work. Okay, so now I need to figure out and decide if I want to go with the larger blade length or not. Hay fever, Boo Earns. Kind of got me thinking now, because I forged it out intending to make it a little bit longer, but now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't because of the animal that it's going to be used to process, the type of animal. It might actually be better to have that smaller, sleeker profile. It's not allergies, is it? Sorry, I'm just doing a little bit of research. Okay. Nope, not allergies. Alright, fair enough. I do like the way that this feels. Decisions. Alright, fuck it. We'll stick with the original profile just because this is meant for dressing hogs. And I don't want to make the knife too long, so it'll make it less nimble and less easy to do what it needs to do. Here I was going to forge it bigger. Give a little bit extra knife to our friend Galint. The more I think about it, the less I actually like that idea. Although I could bring the hook back more in line with the spine. Could do that. Oh wait. There was a reason I didn't do that before. Bring it here, but I still keep this. Okay, that'll work. Yeah. So basically, we just need to cut this end off. Okay. Can make that happen. Hey, Leia, no worries. Do your thing. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. I appreciate it. Ear warning, this will be loud. So we're cutting with the angle grinder. don't have my hammer. There we go. Oops, wrong camera. Okay. All right, there we go. We got chat next to the grinder. Yeah, what did you get? Show me what you got. Why am I making you a bucket? I ain't making shit, Jack. Because I showed you that that Cooper, so now you've just been watching bucket making videos all day? Is that the deal here? Is that what's going on? Why is Instagram being a dumb?
Now stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
I can't pull up that, that thingy. Dig Batty, thank you for that follow. Oh, I'm gonna make you make a bucket. I got you, because I showed you the video. Itchy nose. Itchy hand. Steel dust making me itchy. Oh, it's not on the grinder. I took the thing off. Dig, I will show you. Asus. Do you... So, the link to the... I don't see it on the profile, and I'm not logged in, and Instagram's being stupid in the browser. Which picture is it? Or do you want to shoot me a picture on Discord? Now, the stabby we're doing today, we're redoing a skinning knife because I made an oopsie on the first one, and there's no actual pattern in it because it ended up all being the same steel. So, we're going to try to do this whole thing. This was a billet that was about 5/8 inch thick that we forged down, rough forged, very rough forged shape, and then just doing some stock removal and cleaning up the profile on the grinder. And we started this 3 hours and 20 minutes ago. Well, started from the billet. We'd previously done other work on the billet. Got it all forged up to the layer count we wanted and drilled last night for raindrop. But we forged it, worked it down flat, and all that good stuff. You posted 4 different ones in Discord or on the thing?
Now stand
On
back, I gotta
Instagram.
practice my stabbing.
Welcome back, Leia. Bear King, thank you for that follow. Welcome in. On Insta. Okay. I'm not signed in to Insta because I don't remember any of my login details on the browser, and I still haven't fixed that yet. So, Instagram is being an idiot. The pictures that I see, I'll share them real quick here. Let me share the... Hang on. Butthole? Did I say butthole? I might have. Why is this? No. Okay, this is why. It's Guitar Center. Why did it bring me to Guitar Center? That's dumb. That's not what I did. See what I'm talking about? Instagram is a dumb. Alright, screw this. We're going to try it in a different browser. Well, welcome, Bear King. I am a bladesmith. Maker and purveyor of stabby and slicey things. And we'll get back to it in a second here. This page is unavailable. Yeah, shit. Well, I can't get it pulled up on the stream. Ah, okay. That's here. This is the work that Asus is doing, friends. We're going to go through this real quick. Open. Okay. Here we go. So, we'll go back to this one. So the middle one is the giveaway. Right? So Asus is giving away this middle one. Asus does phenomenal work. So this one's going to be Midnight Purple? Or this one? It's hard to tell. Is this one beveled right here? It looks like it might be. Or is that a shadow from the picture? So this one's going to be purple. On the right. Absolutely beautiful guitars. Beautiful work. That was Sassy's, one of the bags that Sassy made. And that one. I see a wire. Since there's nothing else in there, I'm assuming that's a ground wire. Or will be a ground wire at some point. Or is it just to check for clearance on holes that you've drilled for wiring? Yep, Steph is back from the store, so she's going to need a hand getting the baby out of the car, I think. Maybe? I don't know. But awesome work, Asus. Thanks for sharing. We will... Oops. Nope, we're not giving shit away. Okay, it was the ground wire. That's... okay. I figured. It's a little baby. Alright. Let's get back to doing some work. I want to get one side flat. Yes, the little one is back. Oh. I need water. Okay. Second oldest turned 16. My oldest is 19. And I'm going to glove up on this just because, one, it gets a little hot, and two, I don't feel like getting stabbed in the hand by all the shavings on these magnets.
South of Wrath, south of Ruin, and the Red Dawn.
Raiders, welcome. Oh, it's Belint and Lita and the Science friends.
Now
Welcome
stand
in.
back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
Welcome, welcome, friends. How did the stream go? With your fancy schmancy
Now
horse?
stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
Stop here for a second.
Emotional damage!
Now stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
Thank you for the follows. Spectrum, Golganek, Axel, Angel Flux, True
Now
Sensitivity.
stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
Elfda, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, friends. Zen, good to see you.
Now stand back, I gotta practice my stabbing.
Alright, so friends, if you didn't know, we talk about Belint and Lita all the time. Science streams. Belint
Now
and
stand
Lita
back,
are
I gotta practice my stabbing.
actual, factual biologists. They do the science on stream, the science of biology. They are biologists, trained biologists. They do science outreach, science communication right here on Twitch. But it's not just science communication. It's all awesome, fun stuff. Microscopy, art, video games, just chatting. Freaking wholesome. Heckin' amazing. We love Belint and Lita. If you're not following, click that link, chat. You know what to do. You know what to do. Follows are free. And this knife that we are working on today is for our friend Belint. Raiders. If you have no idea who I am, if you've not been here before, I am Lone Mountain. I am Twitch's most okayest bladesmith. I am a maker and purveyor of stabby and slicey things. Like this. And like these. Welcome. Hope everybody's having a phenomenal day. It's a beautiful day here. Catch up on chat. Golganek, it is Damascus. So, there's some things. Belint, we need to talk. Cliff, good to see you. Smikes, good to see you, friends. So I need to explain the story of what has happened here and why we are basically going until we finish on this knife. Potentially. I'll see how far we can get. What is this? Oh, it's cold. What is this? Ice cream? Thank you. Steph brought me iced cream. Thank you, Steph. I love you. Okay. So, yes, it is warm out here today. It's under 100 though, so I'm excited about that. She brought me an ice cream sandwich. So I'm going to eat that right after I explain what is happening. Okay. So, we're making a skinner for Belint, which is this kind of knife right here, skinner with a gut hook. Now, as you can see, I've already made this knife. This is the second time I made it, sort of. This is the third time I've made it. So what had happened was, I made a Damascus billet for Belint, and I was forging that along with another commission. And through part of the process of making the actual Damascus billet, there was a bit of it where the weld wasn't good, and normally, I mean, that does happen from time to time, and you just cut the end off of the billet. The problem was the location it was at. I had to cut off more of the billet than I wanted to, so when we went to forge out the knife, we were cutting it really, really close with how much material we had because it was starting to get really thin. So I set it aside and started a new billet, which is what this knife was. Now, somewhere in that process, I done goofed. I messed up, chat. I have buckets over here behind me. These buckets are all labeled, and there's buckets for each type of steel so that I specifically don't mix up my steels. Well, somehow, steel got put in the wrong bucket, or switched in their buckets, and long story short, all the steel that I took out to make this knife was all the same type of steel. Or mostly the same type of steel. If there is any difference in the steel in there, you can't really see it. Because I basically went through all the trouble of forging out a billet up to 400 layers, only for it to all be the same kind of steel, so there is no pattern. I drilled it for raindrop and all of that good stuff, so this is apparently the world's first invisible Damascus, patent pending. But that is not what our friend Balint ordered, so we're setting this one aside, and we started over. We had this billet that we forged out. It was at 20 layers yesterday. We got it up to, all in one stream last night, we got it up to 336 for the layer count and got it all drilled for raindrop. And then tonight, well, not tonight, it's not tonight yet for me. Today, we started 3.5 hours ago. And when we started 3.5 hours ago, this was a billet that had a bunch of holes drilled part way through it that was 5/8 of an inch thick, and we got it forged down to about 3/16, a little bit less, rough forged into a knife and cleaned it up on the grinder, and now we're doing all the grinding because we're going to try to heat treat this and get this all we're going to push to get this all finished tonight. Probably not going to happen tonight, but that's what we're going to push for. That's the goal. So that's where we're at. Balint, you are not bad luck. I messed up. Now, friends, anybody that's new here, if you didn't know, and I still have to do this. My shout-out command is open. I strongly encourage you to shamelessly self-promote or shout out your friends, your peers, your favorite streamers. Yes, we are testing my ADD today. We are going to hyperfixate on getting this thing done. Thank you, Balint. Yes, shout out all of the friends. I encourage it. I know maybe it's not the best etiquette everywhere on Twitch, but when you're here, please feel free to share. Also, maybe you don't stream, but maybe you do awesome stuff. Maybe you make things, wood, or leather, or metal, or art, or whatever. Build stuff like Lego, or models, or paint miniatures, or build Gundam kits. Whatever you do, doesn't matter. Feel free to share a link to your work. We'll take a look at it on stream. Yes, also, follow that Lone Mountain guy. I hear he's kind of okay. They are, but Leia, I grew up. I never said they're not the same thing, okay? Okay? Don't know. So, yes, ADHD is now just the thing. I get that. But I spent 25 years of my life calling it ADD because that's what it was called until the name changed. So as far as I'm concerned, it's ADD, damn it. Now, back to work. So we're going to work and chat and talk. I'm going to switch the camera real quick, and oh my god. Chat. I am more excited than you could know, because this is not just any ice cream sandwich. It's a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich. So it's got the strawberry, the vanilla, and the chocolate. I'm excited. Alright, we're going to switch cameras, and I'm going to inhale this, and then we're going to grind. Oh, hang on. Perfect. I can use this opportunity to look at the Lego. Ooh, is this a mock? Oh, this is a mock. Let's heckin' go. Also, this is not a PG stream, friends, so just fair warning, I curse a lot. I am ice creaming now. For those... Oh. That is cold on the teeth. Ouch. Okay. So for those not familiar with Lego brick building, MOC, M-O-C, is Maker's Own Creation. So Dig Batty here did this. This is a MOC. That is phenomenal. Now, did you design the MOC? Or, I mean, it's not any less awesome either way. And you designed it. That is, oh, that's amazing. And there's another one? There is another one. Wow. Look at that. Oh yeah, I just flipped the mic up when I'm eating food so you don't hear me licking ice cream off the wrapper. Oh no, they have ice cream in the beard. No, Leia, this is Lego. Dig Batty did so this is a hot rod at a Lego, but they're Lego MOCs. So there's that one, and then this is another design. Absolutely fantastic work. Yeah, I've seen Stud.io. So I have I don't know, Dig, if you've seen me around or not seen me around, but I found the brick building community. The first week I started streaming, actually. I found more and more, and so yeah, some of those things, like I've seen some folks using Stud.io, that from folks that I've found through the brick building community. Okay, yeah. So I'm sure we watch a lot of the same streams. I've not played with Stud.io myself. Probably because if I do, y'all won't see me for like at least a month. Because I'll just be so involved and wrapped up in basically figuring that out and building things just ridiculous things out of it. Alright. So. We need to get back to work on this knife. Now, just to prove to everybody and myself, I did etch this earlier in the process, but just to show that this is not going to result in the same level of sadness,